Many great battles still remain in the LOWFFL. Who will come out on top? Also, who will get the remaining wildcard spots? It's all coming up now on LegionCenter.
This is LegionCenter.
Hello, I'm Jason Butler, aka J-Train, here to bring you another live edition of LegionCenter, giving you all the news around the Legion of Warriors Fantasy Football League and the matchups for the week. This video will be another matchup video full of great matchups and teams battling one another for the right to make it into the playoffs and hopefully become this year's 2015 LOWFFL champion. Let's start getting into these matchups and tell you what I think my analysis is and see what the correspondents from around LegionCenter have to say about all of this. Our first matchup, we have the Beasts versus the Bruins. Now the Beasts have they started off kind of strong. They were winning some games, but due to what I think is like a lack of depth on their team, losing someone like Matt Forte, having to rely so heavily on Phillip Rivers, I would have to say that this is going to be difficult because the Bruins, while they have been shipping some people away, they still have Aaron Rodgers. They still have some pretty capable people on defense, and they have weapons for Aaron Rodgers to throw to. But for more on this matchup, I am joined right now with Ray Washington, who is live from Columbia, Missouri, at Bruins camp to give his analysis on this matchup. Ray, how you doing, bud? What do you got to say about this matchup?
Hey, Jason, everything's good over here, man. Well, this matchup's going to be decent. I think, you got a pretty good competition. However, I think these beasts, man, they may have the edge on this one. You got, can people really push Rivers to the edge here? I think Rivers is going to really put some good work in. Aaron Rodgers, he's been back and forth. I don't know if he's going to have it this time, but, the battle's going to be there. But at the same time, I think Oklahoma's going to have an edge on this one, brother.
So what would you say is the Beast's game plan right now, having to go up against Aaron Rodgers and stopping him from going off and scoring a whole bunch of, points, really taking over this game?
Well, to be honest with you, I think they can get to him. You got the edge. These guys have been struggling on the edge to try to, maintain the on the offensive line side. So I think they can get to him as long as they keep the edge coming inside and break that hold down, brother.
So you think Oklahoma's going to win this game?
They got this one.
All right, thanks, Ray. I really appreciate it, bud. Our next matchup, we have the Boston Braves versus the Detroit Robbers. The Braves, they're always this franchise has had a history of sustained excellence in terms of winning games. This season is no different. This is the second year for GM Jamie Taylor. It seems like they got a new GM every year. So they also got Corey Depot co-managing. Putting two heads together apparently is better than one because they keep winning games. Now Boston, you either kind of get their top offense or you get their top defense. But both sides of the ball, they're really strong. Detroit, it seems like they got a lot of talent, but they just haven't found a way to get the playmakers to play yet. Detroit, it's obviously going to have to go through Tom Brady again. I don't know if he really has the kind of receivers that he would like to be throwing to, but he's got to make them look good this week. Hopefully, Adrian Peterson can open up the passing game for Mr. Brady and the Brady Bunch to 4 points. But also, I think that Detroit's going to have to play some stellar defense. They've had great defenses in the past, but that doesn't really help them now. They need to really find the right players to put together to win this game, because otherwise Boston is going to completely, even in Detroit, they're going to completely roll them. I think the Boston's going to win this game just because they're like more complete. They seem to be more, I guess, disciplined. They seem to have a better game plan. Detroit is going to really have to fight if they want to hold on to that sixth seed going into the playoffs, which they have right now. I think Detroit can win this, but we'll see. For more on this, we have LegionCenter correspondent Corey Howington giving the analysis for today's matchup. Corey, how you doing, bud? What have you heard about these two teams?
Well, this week we got the Boston Braves and the Detroit Robbers coming up. They both got Tom Brady on the Robbers. He looks like if he throws to his receivers this week, he's going to do pretty good as long as his defense keeps up with the Braves.
And looking at these two teams, which team do you think's going to win?
The way the projections are going to be a close one, but I'm going to have to go with the Robbers this week.
All right, thanks, Corey. Really appreciate the analysis. I hope you're having fun up there in Detroit. So our next matchup, we have a pretty intense matchup. We have the Baltimore Bandits going up against the Durham Eubanks. Both teams are currently, well, I guess the Bandits kind of have solidified, I think, the first wild card spot, but they're trying really hard to catch Boston and get that divisional, I guess, win. They had a huge victory in the season at one point when they played Boston and got away with that win. And they might be the first team to take down Boston, even when they were the Miami Pookie Heads, taking them down and winning, taking the division away from this franchise for the first time in LWFFL history. I think it's absolutely possible. Cam Newton has been playing out of his mind. You have other playmakers on Baltimore as well. The defense, I think, needs to show up. There needs to be, I guess, I think, a little bit more running back help. But if Cam Newton can keep finding Travis Kelce, hooking up with that offense, I think that this could be a good battle. Durham's defense isn't what it used to be, but it's still pretty tough. The team still has a lot of playmakers, and they're starting to get into mid-season form. I guess they should be because the season's almost over. But they've started to play the brand of Eubank football that we've all come to know and respect. They might actually, from out of nowhere, after starting off, I think like 0-3 or like dropping a whole bunch of games at the beginning of the season, they might actually find their way into the playoffs. And if they get into the playoffs, that will be crazy. And a massive headache, I think, for all the teams that will be in the playoffs as well. So, I'm sure GM Paul Fink is going to do all he can to stop that. But for more on this, we have Legion correspondent Trevor Funk, who is in Durham right now, giving his analysis on the game. Trevor, how you doing, bud? What can you say about this week's matchup?
Well, it's going to be a good matchup this week. We got Cam Newton leading his troops. We got Carson Palmer leading the Eubanks. It's going to be a good matchup.
Awesome. And what have you heard about some of the weaknesses in talking to both of these GMs for their teams going into this game?
Well, the weaknesses is going to be the defense. That's going to be the deciding factor this week. If the Bandits come out and play defense and stop the run and stop the pass game, they're going to be okay.
All right, thanks, Trevor. I really appreciate it. In our next matchup, we have the Memphis Predators going up against the Charlottesville Medics. I have a lot of things that I guess I could say about this matchup, but I am joined right now over the phone to give his take, the GM of the Missouri Bruins, Mr. CJ Tolani, to give what he thinks are going to be some important parts of this matchup. Thank you for joining us, CJ. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Jason. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. So I just called you up. We called you up here on LegionCenter to ask you, what you think are important aspects of this game. What do you think the main objectives will be for both teams, and how you kind of view each team going forward with recent moves, recent, records, everything like that. Just kind of giving your response on this.
Yeah. So looking at this matchup, I mean. The Medics, I know, just clinched their division, so I think they'll keep in their winning ways. The Predators have some good young talent, but I think it'll take a couple years of building for them to get back to the winning ways. So just looking at this matchup here this week between the Predators and the Medics, I think. With Freeman running the ball, he's going to be explosive as usual, and I think Adams is going to get the ball a little bit more. I'm sure this week he's gotten a year full about dropping all those balls last week, so I think he'll be better this week. And with Edelman being out, I think Gronk's going to get the ball a lot more. And Kuechly, Kuechly's always a beast. I know he was hurt a little bit here recently. But just looking at this matchup, I think it goes very much in favor of the Medics. The Predators will stay close, but I see the Medics pulling it off at the end.
Okay, so if the Predators were to like win this game per se, how do you? So you think the Medics are going to win? So how what do the Predators have to do to win this game, and what do the Medics have to do to lose this game?
Well, I think for the Predators to win this game, um, their running game really has to show up, and the defense is going to be the key factor. I mean, if depends if the defense shows up this week and how they perform against Tyrod Taylor, and if they can stop Freeman and get Adams to drop the ball again this week. Figuratively and realistically, like he did last week. I think that's what the Predators are going to have to do to beat the Medics.
All right, cool, excellent. Well, I really appreciate you getting on this phone call with us. I want to wish you good luck against your game against the Bruins. I won't take too much more of your time. I know you're preparing your team to win this week. So good luck, and hopefully Aaron Rodgers is fixing. By the way, I'm sorry. Do you have any like word on like Aaron Rodgers' shoulder right now, and how you think that might affect your matchup?
I think Rodgers will be fine. The Missouri Bruins are always tough, and no matter what happens, they still show up to play every single week. And Rodgers will be starting. Will be almost 100%, and I expect him to run the offense efficiently and take down the Oklahoma Beast who can't even show up to the draft.
All right. Well, again, thank you so much again for jumping onto this phone interview. Good luck. Good luck preparing your team, and make good luck the rest of the season.
Thanks, Jason.
All right. Peace. All right. Our next matchup is your Legion of Warriors Fantasy Football League game of the week. We have the Dallas Werewolves visiting the Fargo Cold Cuts in what will be a very, very important game for both teams. Fargo's trying to hold on to the north, while Dallas is trying to hold on to the south. A win for either team is going to mean a lot for them, and is going to give them a cushion going forward. I think that this team is going. This is going to be. I think that this was the matchup of the week for a very good reason. I think it is going to be the game to watch. But for more on that, we are joined live right now from Fargo, North Dakota, with Legion of Warriors correspondent James Law. James, it looks like a lot of the stuff over there is still they're still kind of building up the facilities there, being a new team. How you doing? What can you say about these matchups?
It's coming along. There's still a lot of work to be done. Speaking of work to be done, let's get into these teams. So, I guess we should be thankful of the old adage that defense wins championships, because looking at the cold cuts, that's where the magic's going to happen. Got strong looking defense, all the players, putting up decent numbers, working well together, but their offense is just lacking. But moving on to the Werewolves, they're kind of at a similar problem. They got Romo coming back. That might be good, that might be bad. He's, coming back in from the season from an injury. You just don't know how he's going to play. Rest of his defense or offense looks pretty strong. Gruely is a hard player. Des Bryant, he's proven himself. So there's not too much to go on there. It's all resting on the shoulders of the quarterback. Now, their defense, much like their offense, few changes made. We're just going to see how that plays out.
All right, and in talking with these GMs, which one do you think seemed more confident in their ability for this team to win?
I'd have to say it would probably be the cold cuts just because of that defense. There are a bunch of changes that have been made on either sides of the bench here. I'm just thinking that defense on the cold cut side is probably going to pull us out from him. Confidence levels are about the same, but if I had to pick, I'd have to go with Fargo.
All right, James, thanks a lot. Make sure you stay warm over there in Fargo. I know there's not much to do.
Not much at all, man.
All right, and finally, for our last game of the week that we will be reviewing here on LegionCenter, we have the Virginia Schnauzers going up against the Washington Hogs. Now, I know that I can't really give too much analysis on this game. I'm biased most of the time. I don't think the league wants to hear me go off for days on like how awesome I think the Schnauzers are. So what I'll do is I'll throw it to correspondent special Legion Center correspondent, Toby Butler, who will be giving his analysis on this game. Toby, what do you have for us, buddy? All right, thanks a lot, Toby. That was some in-depth analysis. Really appreciate it. All right, good luck to all the teams playing this week, unless you're playing the Schnauzers, and unless you're going to be preventing the Schnauzers from making the playoffs. But have fun for the few games that we have left for the season. All right, this has been another episode of Legion Center. Have a great day. Peace.